Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janardan Yashodanandana Braja Janardan Yashodanandana Braja Janardan Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shirate Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Sri Radhe Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Tamani Prabhupada Shasaitamya Prakasha Tirtha Charangira Sadhu Bhagatpate Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadim Paśyati Deshatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sijuta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakham Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanispari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. chapter 6, text 32. Ātmaupamyena sarvatra samaṁ paśyati Arjuna sukhaṁ va yadi va duḥkhaṁ sa yogī paramo mataḥ ātmaupamyena sarvatra samaṁ paśyati Arjuna sukhaṁ va yadi va duḥkhaṁ sa yogī paramo mataḥ ātmaupamyena sarvatra samaṁ paśyati Arjuna sukhaṁ va yadi va duḥkhaṁ sa yogī paramo mataḥ ātmaupamyena sarvatra samaṁ paśyati Arjuna sukhaṁ va yadi va duḥkhaṁ sa yogī paramo mataḥ Mataji's ātmaupamyena sarvatra samaṁ paśyati Arjuna sukhaṁ va yadi va duḥkhaṁ sa yogī paramo mataḥ Word for word meaning ātma with his self, aupamyena by comparison, sarvatra everywhere, samam equally, paśyati sees, he who, Arjuna, O Arjuna, sukham, happiness, va, or, yadi, if, va, or, duḥkhaṁ, distress, saha, such, yogī, a transcendentalist, paramaḥ, perfect, mataḥ, is considered. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. O Arjuna. Everybody please repeat. He is a perfect yogi.
He is a perfect yogi.
Who, by comparison, to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. O Arjuna. Purport. One who is Krishna conscious is a perfect yogi. He is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. The cause of the distress of a living entity is forgetfulness of his relationship with God. And the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer of all the activities of the human being, the proprietor of all lands and planets, and the sincerest friend of all living entities. The perfect yogi knows that the living being who is conditioned by the modes of material nature is subjected to the threefold material miseries due to forgetfulness of his relationship with Krishna. And because one in Krishna consciousness is happy, he tries to distribute the knowledge of Krishna everywhere. Since the perfect yogi tries to broadcast the importance of becoming Krishna conscious, he is the best philanthropist in the world. And he is the dearest servitor of the Lord. Nacha tasman manusyeshu kaschinni priya-kṛttamaḥ. In other words, a devotee of the Lord always looks to the welfare of all living entities. And in this way, he is factually the friend of everyone. He is the best yogi because he does not desire perfection in yoga for his personal benefit, but tries for others also. He does not envy his fellow living entities. Here is a contrast between a pure devotee of the Lord and a yogi interested only in his personal elevation. The yogi who has withdrawn to a secluded place in order to meditate perfectly may not be as perfect as a devotee who is trying his best to turn every man toward Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki ātmaupamyena sarvatra samaṁ paśyati Arjuna sukhaṁ yadi duḥkhaṁ yogī paramo mataḥ. ātmaupamyena sarvatra. The perfect yogi, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. O Arjuna. So Lord Krishna is speaking here to Arjuna, explaining about a perfect yogi who is also a perfect yogi is the one who knows the difference between happiness and distress. And he sees also the equality of all living beings. A pure devotee of the Lord is automatically a perfect yogi. He's equiposed in his mind. His mind is under control. His senses is under control. His intelligence he used for the service of the Supreme Lord. And he understands his eternal position. His position being the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. Now, a yogi may not be a devotee, as Prabhupada says in the purport, because a yogi may be only satisfied being in a secluded place, not reaching out for the welfare of others. But a pure devotee of the Lord is not much more concerned about himself because he's already liberated, but he's more concerned about others, how to save others from the cycle of repeated birth and death, from this miserable life full of sufferings and miseries. Says here, a Krishna conscious person is a perfect yogi and he is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. Ātmaupamyena. You see, the purpose of human form of life is to be happy. Happy always, all the time. But not temporary, which the materialists are aspiring for. And therefore, they not become satisfied. Because the happiness derived from enjoying the sense objects with the senses is not very satisfying. It has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. And it tastes nectar in the beginning, but then it becomes poison in the end. Unlike the happiness derived from engagement one's senses to the service of the master of the senses, Rishikesh, has an eternal effect. It may taste a little bit bitter in the beginning because one has to perform austerities. It is not so easy to attain eternal happiness. We have to pay the price. Price of eagerness. Price of being greedy like the materialists. But the price has an eternal reward. And that reward will be relished perpetually, even after this life, even after death. And that kind of happiness is always increasing. It is eternal and is always increasing. Unlike the material happiness, it is flickering, it is temporary, it doesn't last. It may seem very nice in the beginning, but the same happiness materially will be the cause of one's miseries and sufferings in the future. A little bit of material happiness, but the suffering is much, much more. So, the root cause of this material sufferings and happiness, Prabhupada says here, is a forgetfulness of our relationship with Krishna. Prabhupada says our main disease is that we have forgotten Krishna. We have forgotten Krishna, and not just that, we want to forget Krishna. We want to become Krishna. We want to become the enjoyer. But it's not possible because our eternal constitutional position is that we're all servants. It's like you cannot separate the sweetness of the sugar and the wetness of the water, or the heat and light of the fire. It's not possible to separate that relationship that we have towards the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord being the Supreme Master, and we are all His servants. But we have forgotten that. Why and how? Well, we have forgotten that, especially as soon as we change our body. As soon as we transmigrate from one body to the next, immediately we have forgotten who we were from the previous life. We have forgotten who is our father, who is our mother, who is our friends, who is our relatives. And especially, an example of this, Prabhupada says, is like when you dream at night. Dreaming is just like a temporary death. We cannot even remember what we dreamt 3 days ago. Can you remember? Usually, we remember what we dreamt as soon as we wake up. But then after a few hours, it's gone. We cannot remember. Unless you've dreamt of Srila Prabhupada, or your Guru Maharaj, or a fellow devotee. Sometimes the devotee will tell me, Maharaj, I dreamt of you last night. Really? Yeah, these are spiritual dreams. So usually it's intact in our consciousness, that dreams. But material dreams like, being chased by a tiger or being in danger, we want to forget it immediately. Even we don't want to think about it. So we change our body from time to time, birth after birth, and therefore forgetfulness is there. And this is the difference between Krishna and us. That's why Krishna's body remains the same. Krishna's body remains the same birth after birth. And therefore, he never forgets. For us, after some time, we forget many, many things. Even King Indra. King Indra is the king of the demigods. Somehow he offended his spiritual master. And therefore he was cursed to become a hog or a pig in the earthly planet. And so he was enjoying with Mrs. Piggy Indra, and his piglets. They're playing in the mud. They eat everything, anything and everything. Now, because King Indra became a hog, the throne became vacant. No one was sitting in this throne of King Indra. And his time is over. The curse is already been done and has been over with. So Lord Brahma is waiting for Indra to come back. But King Indra doesn't want to come back, so King Brahma has to come down. And he asks Indra, come on, let's go. Let's go. It's time for you to recover your throne. But King Indra says, no way. I'm enjoying here. Life is so good here. Look, I have my piggy wife, I have my piglets, and we're enjoying in the mud. So even King Indra had forgotten his position. What to say of an ordinary living being? Generally speaking, even from Lord Brahma up to the lowest insect, insignificant insect, Indragopa, is prone to forgetfulness because of having this material body. So the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer of all activities of the human being, the proprietor of all lands and planets, and the sincerest friend of all living entities. This is a perfect yogi. So this is from the last verse of the 5th chapter, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Bhoktarang yagatapasam sarvaloka mahisvaram suridam sarvabhutanam yatmamam shantim richati. There is no happiness if there is no peace. There is no peace when the mind is troubled. When the senses is fully uncontrolled, there is no peace of mind. When there is no peace of mind, there is no happiness. So, Prabhupada says, this sloka is the only thing that we need to know when you want to tell Krishna to others. If you want to be, let's say, a preacher, this is the sloka that one needs to learn. Saying that a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, bhoktarang yagya tapasam, of all the sacrifices and all the austerities. He is the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, sarvaloka maheshwaram. and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities. Suridam sarvabhutanam. He is the friend of everyone. If one knows this, then he attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. As long as we have this material body, there will be miseries and sufferings. But if he understands that he is not the body, this is the root cause, again, of miseries and sufferings. Ignorance, avidya. Identifying with the body as the self. Identifying not just the body as a self, but identifying with the mind. Usually when one says, "Hey Prabhu, you are in the bodily platform." If one says that if you are in the bodily platform, that means you are in the mental platform. Because we are not the mind. Usually the materialists identify themselves with the mind. And the mind is the cause of all of our sufferings. Prabhupada says, there is no good and there is no bad in this world. This is only the imagination, the thoughts of the mind, that this is good and this is bad. Prabhupada says, everything is bad. There is no such thing as good karma and bad karma. Good karma is also bad karma. Why? Because you have to come back for that good, which is not really good. It will be the cause of another material form. So, as long as we understand this formula, the greatest peace formula, then we will be peaceful. We will be happy. We will be able to relish even happiness in this world, even in this lifetime. One does not need to wait at the time of death to become Krishna conscious. One can be Krishna conscious even at this very moment. Prabhupada was once asked, how long does it take for one to become Krishna conscious? Prabhupada says, within a moment. Now, the one moment of becoming Krishna conscious must be that you must have performed also Krishna consciousness activities from the past, or have received blessings and mercy from a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. It doesn't happen miraculously. You cannot sit down comfortably and don't do any activities, spiritual activities, and one automatically will become Krishna conscious. That is not possible. Unless, again, if you receive mercy from a pure devotee or from Lord Krishna himself. Even 5,000 years ago, not everyone recognizes Krishna as a Supreme Lord. Some very, very chosen few know Krishna as God. Queen Kunti, the Five Pandavas, others like Kamsa, Shishupal, they don't know Krishna is God. Duryodhan, they don't know Krishna is God. They thought he's just a normal human form of life, human being, like amongst one of them. And therefore, they were killed by Lord Krishna. So the perfect yogi knows that the living being who is conditioned by the modes of material nature is subjected to the threefold miseries due to forgetfulness. Forgetfulness means there is a past and there is also the present and the future. For the devotee is always the now. The future is now. Whatever we're doing day by day by day, that is our future. Whatever we did in the yesterday is again now. Whatever we're going to do tomorrow is again now. There's no difference, and therefore, he always remembered his position being an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. And Krishna is his only shelter. He's not affected by the modes of material nature because all of his activities is transcendental. No more karma, ākarma. If one performs material activities, therefore his future is not so bright. There'll be karma, there'll be a reaction for his activities. Whatever we're doing in this lifetime, we will continue next lifetime. For the materialists, whatever they're doing now, their future is uncertain. They don't know what they're going to be, what kind of species of life they will be in next life. But for us, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I don't mind becoming even as a dog in my next life, as long as I live in a family of devotee. That doesn't mean you should have a dog or you should have a cat, because it is considered as impure. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying this just to give an example that there is a hope. And if you have a dog or a cat, that dog or a cat is very, very fortunate, living in the house of a Vaishnava, that hopefully next life, that dog will become a human form of life and will become a devotee. So that dog must be happy now. He's living in a family of a Vaishnava. And next life, he'll become a devotee of the Supreme Lord. More likely as a human form of life. Because if you give that dog or a cat some kind of prasadam, I know some dogs, they're vegetarians because they live in a house of a Vaishnava. So automatically, one who is in Krishna consciousness, he is happy. And he tries to distribute happiness to others. Paradukha dukhi. When he sees others' sufferings, he also feels the pain of that sufferings that others are experiencing. And therefore, he does not want to remain himself the only one who is happy. He wants to distribute this happiness to others. This is the nature of a devotee. His heart is soft. Soft as a butter. Makan. That means the compassionate nature, the kindness is there. All the good qualities of the demigods is present in the devotee. And therefore, he doesn't want to see others happy. As much as possible, pure devotees like Vasudev Datta, he wants the entire universe, all the sins of the entire universe be transferred unto him. And let everyone goes back home, back to Godhead. Same with Prahlad Maharaj. It's the same thing. He wants everyone to go back home, back to Godhead. Even his own father, Hiranyakashipu, who gave him so much trouble, so much sufferings. This is the devotee. He is not envy of anyone. The material world is envious of each other. And Prabhupada says, the main reason why we're still in the material world is because of envy. We are envious. This is the only thing that you cannot apply in Krishna consciousness. The materialists, they are envious of each other. The materialists, they're envious of the devotees. When they see the devotees of the Lord, how come they're always happy? They get up early in the morning without coffee or tea, but they're always happy. Early in the morning, chanting and dancing, they're always happy. And as we've heard this morning in the class in Los Angeles, the devotees, ask their neighbors, why don't you come and join us? He says, no, we don't want that. We don't want to come. We don't want to join you. Are the materialists envious of the devotees? Yes. And sometimes some devotees are envious of other devotees? Yes or no? Yes. Why? This is neophyte mentality. That's what you called a materialist devotee, a neophyte devotee. A neophyte devotee, he doesn't see anybody. He only sees Krishna and himself. He doesn't see. Just like a horse. You know, a horse is blind. He only sees the front. He doesn't see who's here. He doesn't see who's there. His only concern is about Krishna and himself. That's why Prabhupada says, don't remain in the neophyte platform. At least come to the Madhyam platform. Madhyam platform means you can see who are the innocents, who is Krishna, who are the envious, who are the demons, and who are the devotees. So in this way, you discriminate and also you help others in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada says even the Uttama Bhakta, they come to the Madhyam platform to distribute Krishna consciousness. That doesn't mean that those who are in the topmost platform, when they come to the Madhyam platform, they become less. Like Srila Prabhupada, he could have stayed in Vrindavan at the age of 70 at the Radha Damodar temple. But out of compassion, out of kindness, and to fulfill the instructions coming from his Guru Maharaj, he wanted to fulfill that. At the age of 70, it is time for retirement. So we are still young. Prabhupada says old age starts at 70. So maybe some of you are in 70s. But as long as you have life, you can preach. You can teach others about Krishna consciousness. And Krishna says in the purport, Nacha tasma. Was that there? Nacha tasman manusyesu kaschin mi priya-kṛttamaḥ. No one will there be any more dear to me than the one who gives this knowledge to us, to others. So if you want to be recognized by Krishna, then you have to tell Krishna to others. Krishna is all attracted. He attracts everyone, but Krishna is attracted to those who help others to become Krishna conscious. Those who help others to become Krishna conscious, Krishna becomes obliged. Krishna becomes obliged. He will never forget this devotee. He will never forget. He cannot even repay back. That's why sometimes the devotees of the Lord, they are more merciful than the Lord Himself. Because the devotees of the Lord, they take the risk, the dangers in spreading Krishna consciousness to reach those who are in the modes of material energy, specifically ignorance and passion. So, our goal ultimately is to become Krishna conscious. And one is automatically happy. One automatically will get the notice of Lord Krishna if we tell others about Krishna. It takes a lot of humility to preach. One time we were traveling with my Guru Maharaj, and we were in the plane. And we're coming back to India. And in the plane, there were a group of athletes, cricket players of India. They're big, tall, right? And Maharaj asked me, why don't you preach to them? I said, how can I preach to them? They're so tall, if I go like this. And because I was just new, I did not take that opportunity to tell them about Krishna. At one time, my Guru Maharaj says, take all the opportunity to preach. This is for all the devotees in ISKCON. Take all the opportunity to tell others about Krishna, because it may be the only time that they will meet a devotee like you. It may take them millions and millions of lifetimes to meet a devotee. And if we miss that, then Krishna will not be so happy. So, we are better than the yogi who goes in the Himalayas and perform austerities. They may be so much in performing tapasya, austerities and sacrifice, but the greatest austerity in Kali Yuga is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and to share this to others. And I've seen those devotees who preach, who tell Krishna to others, they are the happiest devotees. Hare Krishna. Okay, we stop here. Have any points or comments? Any questions? Yes.
Maharaj also said in the lecture about neophyte devotee right now, who is
I really don't understand. It's difficult for me to hear. Go ahead.
Maharaj said right now in the class about the neophyte who is concerned only with Krishna. Right
Yes.
in the lecture, you said
Mostly he's concerned about himself, not on Krishna. Because if he's concerned about Krishna, he will tell others about Krishna.
So Maharaj, even it's in the connection with spiritual master also, that many devotees are attached to the spiritual master only on the basis of sentimental platform.
Yes.
And not on the basis of Guru Tattva.
Okay.
So just to might be get mercy or to be great in the eyes of spiritual master.
Okay.
So, and offenses are also directly made for other devotees in that way. So what to do, Sir?
It's okay to know the mood of the Guru, to be attached to the spiritual master, but the Guru is always talking of Krishna also, telling others about Krishna. Now, it is different if one only wants to enjoy the spiritual master, enjoy his association, meaning to be with the spiritual master but not really doing anything. I know some devotees, they want to be, like in the picture with Guru. Never seen some devotees like that? Huh? Wherever the Guru goes, oh yeah, I'm with my Guru Maharaj, see? And then he will distribute these pictures. But then he's not doing anything. Or he may do something. He wants to become popular and using the spiritual master for himself to become popular. That is wrong. One can be in the corner and he can be doing the most service. That devotee is more dearer to the Guru than the person who is besides him and who just want to, use the Guru for his own benefit. I've seen devotees like this. And I'm not saying to that devotee right now, but one day I will tell him, hey, come on, that's enough. That's enough. You had enough. You have enough photos with Guru Maharaj. You want only to use Guru Maharaj for your own benefit. I'm not saying it to it right now. But one day I will do. Because that's not proper. We're not there to enjoy the spiritual master. No. And if one commits offenses, then that's not good. While being with Guru, you commit offenses towards other devotees. Krishna will not be happy in that way.
They generally want to serve to be great in the eyes of Guru also on the basis of some sentimental personal attachment.
No, if you want to be like really dear to Guru, then do service. And Guru wants us to preach. Guru wants us to spread Krishna consciousness as well. When the spiritual master would come and visit you, he will ask, so how is your chanting? Then you say, how is my chanting? So are you also preaching? No, Guru Maharaj, no time. No, he will be so pleased if you chant and you preach. Two things he wants us to do. Chant our rounds without any offenses and teach Krishna consciousness to others.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other points? Any other question? Everybody knows English? I've been talking here for the last 48 minutes. No one knows English? Huh? Remind
the exact number from where Srimad Bhagavatam is it?
Was that again?
In the Lila, Indra become a pig.
Or become a hog, become a pig?
Yes. From which part of Srimad Bhagavatam?
Oh, it's not in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It must be in one of the Puranas. King Indra did a lot of things in the Bhagavatam, but that was not mentioned. No, it's not there. No, maybe it's in the some other Puranas.
But where can I find this Lila?
Oh, Prabhupada says this in his lectures.
His lecture. Which lecture?
Which lecture?
Exactly.
I can tell you later.
Okay.
Okay? I can tell you later. Definitely, I've read it. Yeah, right here. This is from the King of Knowledge, Rajabidya, Parampara, Knowledge through Disciplic Succession, Chapter 5. The story of King Indra. At one time, Indra, the king of heaven, committed an offense at the feet of his spiritual master. And his spiritual master cursed him to take the birth of a hog. So this is how I told the story. I did not make it up. Okay? Rajabidya, chapter 5. Anything else? Yes, sir. Right here. It's not so easy to hear the question if you are here, because there should be like one monitor here also.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, all relationship Prabhupada,
Jai.
all those assembled devotees. Maharaj, the translation of this verse says that to see the true equality of all beings in both happiness and distress.
Yes.
Comparison to yourself. That will become selfless. How do we develop those qualities when it's very hard? Because I think of my family is more important, my friends is more important. I don't see anyone in equality. I feel that I've got attachment to my... So how do we develop those qualities of becoming selfless?
The first lesson that I've learned, and I'm still trying to learn, coming into Krishna consciousness, is to see everyone in equal vision. You will not make any advancement in Krishna consciousness if you discriminate that one is higher and one is lower. This is Europeans, these are Indians. This is the first quality that I've learned, and I'm still trying to learn from reading Srila Prabhupada's books. How to see everyone in equal vision. Samoham. No, was that? Brahmani, Gavihastani, Suni Chaiva Sapake Cha, Pandita Samadarsina. Because we have to realize that aspect of Lord Krishna being a super soul, that He's present in everyone's heart. That's why we offer obeisances to each other. Hopefully we're still doing it. Not just to the sannyasi you offer obeisances. You should also offer obeisances to fellow devotees, which is rare these days. Not just to the guru or the sannyasi that one should offer obeisances. So, yes, it's not so easy to be selfless. Most of the times we are, if not all the times, we are selfish. So selfless means not becoming free from the spiritual platform. That is the spiritual platform. Selfless. So try to understand and see everyone in equal vision, because he sees himself. He sees himself through in others, the devotee of the Lord. I made a statement before that the devotees is like a mirror. You can see yourself to that devotee, from that devotee. The way the devotee acts, the way he behaves, you should also think, am I behaving like him? Is he doing properly according to what I've read? If he's not, therefore I should not follow him. Now, if he is acting and behaving according to the Shastra, what should be done, then I copy him. Not copy him, but I would like to follow the way he's doing. So you should see and be a good observer in each and every devotee and try to see yourself. Okay, and you don't discriminate. You don't belittle if a person is like, not acting properly. You just have to understand that maybe someday you'll be able to help that devotee. If you're in a position as an authority, therefore, you should try to help. If not, then don't copy, don't follow. And someday that devotee will learn from his experience. Okay? Selfless means you have to sacrifice. You have to go out of your way to help others. Srila Prabhupada is the best example. He went to America for all of us, not just the entire universe, not just in this planet. Because our movement will go on for the next 10,000 years. And one day, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the judge will be wearing tilak. Ideal. Okay? We have to work on ourselves first. Prabhupada says, higher than saving others is first save yourself. That means we should be an ideal devotee first. Then we can be effective in our preaching. That when we say something, people will listen and people will act according to what we say, or what we said. Okay? Selfless means you give everything to Krishna. How do you do that? First, by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, following the orders of Guru. Okay? So we stop here now. So we should all become preachers. This is Sankirtan movement. Okay? Learn Srila Prabhupada's books. chant Hare Krishna without offenses, and help everyone whom you meet to become Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada ki Dhanyavad. Hare Krishna.